Morning guys, hope you're all well. I'm just here at my campsite. I was able to get last minute yesterday. As you can see, it's pretty cold, about 3 degrees here in Kangaroo Valley this morning. It's right next to a farm here, so I slept next to 200 head of cattle last night, a couple of horses, there's heaps of birds around. It's misty morning, it's really nice, very cold though. So yeah, I haven't really planned too much ahead today. I reckon I'll head back to the Wombat spot. It was just so cool down there, and you know, if this fog hangs around, could make for some interesting photographic opportunities too. Plus just hang out with those guys because that was amazing. Maybe check out a few waterfalls, just kind of see where the day takes me. Alright, so I reckon what I'll do is I'll have my tea, have some brekkie, hope the sun will come out a little bit, dry the tent out because I don't have to be packed up until about midday. And yeah, head off and see the Wombats first, see what they're up to. Right, so back out on the hunt for wombats. I did see one little one, but I was heading back into the burrow just as I came past. This fella here looks pretty relaxed, having a morning graze. So there's not a whole lot happening this morning down here with the wombats, but I did get a pretty cool shot of that fella just crossing the road. Now here in the recreational area, roads aren't a really big deal. There's speed bumps and some pretty significant speed bumps all the way around. But it is pretty common to see wombats, kangaroos, wallabies, all number of marsupials getting hit by cars on the main roads. And unfortunately, most of the time that's a one-way ticket. They'll often not survive, but because these guys are marsupials and they have a pouch, there'll often be a joey inside that may survive the ordeal. So it is important that if you do see any of our Australian marsupials dead on the side of the road, check if it's a female, check the pouch, and you can then, you know, phone up any of the wildlife rescue rehab organisations. They'll tell you what to do. They may even come out and meet you, and maybe they can give that joey a fighting chance, even if the mum hasn't survived the ordeal with the car. It is also important when you're driving in areas where there are wildlife signs, where you can see that there is wildlife about, that you slow down. You're aware when you're driving, particularly at dawn and dusk, because that tends to be the time when these guys are most active. These wombats here, they're breaking all the rules out at all hours of the day, but generally speaking, dawn, dusk, and overnight. Now the sun's starting to break through the fog and the cloud, which is nice. I reckon I'll head back to camp, slowly start packing up, and make a plan for the rest of the day. Alright, so back at camp now. Yesterday when I rocked up, I was going to do a bit of a time lapse of me setting everything up, but seeing as it was basically dark by the time I got here, didn't get to do that. So now, you get a time lapse of me breaking everything down. And you're probably wondering, why on earth have you got such a big tent if you're just out here camping on your own? It's a good question, and I figured, no point spending money on a new one. I had this one, 6-man tent, plenty good for a couple of people, just as good for me, plenty of space. I think the battery's going to run out before I finish. All right, done. Time to go check out some waterfalls. Just heard one of my favourite sounds from one of my favourite birds, the Glossy Black Cockatoo. Honestly, if you didn't know what you're looking for, you would completely miss it. Just hear this little clicking, and that's them cracking open the casuarina nuts. And then he just let out a little call then. I haven't actually seen it yet, but it's pretty close. So hopefully if I head a little bit further this way, I'll be able to spot him. All right, I can see him up there. These guys will actually spend a fair bit of time like pretty low in the understory of the trees, because the casuarinas don't grow as big as the eucalypts and because the casuarinas, those are their sole source of food, more or less. They don't really have much need to be in the eucalypts except for, nesting and just roosting and stuff like that. So if they're feeding, they'll be a bit lower. All right, there's a bird out here and you cannot mistake this call. And you know why? Because it's all the calls. There's a lyrebird. He's popping off galahs. He's popping off whitbirds. He's popping off yellowtail blacks. Amazing. I can't see him yet. I reckon I'm going to try and sneak in because this is just one of the most incredible birds you could ever see. The master of mimicking. Listen to that. That is just unbelievable. Mate, I thought yesterday with the wombats was awesome, but I think this tops it. I've heard lyrebird, I can't even talk. I've heard lyrebirds before, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought I could get this close. And he's just popping off. I'm absolutely awestruck. Like, I don't even know what to say. This has just got to be one of the most unique birds here in Australia. I don't need to say anything. You're saying it all for me. That was just incredible. Never would have expected that. And once again, thanks to an amazing wildlife encounter, I'm going to struggle to find somewhere to camp before it's dark, but it doesn't matter. You cannot top that. Kangaroo Valley, you got my heart. Gonna leave it there, guys. Leave it on a high. Thanks for listening to me ramble on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.